Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Zoning Appeals. We'll begin with the reading of the preamble.
Good morning. My name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this Monday, February 12th. In compliance with notification requirements of the city's open meeting law in section 101.021, the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the city planning department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest to be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note that calling users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak on a particular matter have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Great. Would you call the roll?
Sure. Ms. Brown?
Present.
Ms. Wilson?
Present.
Ms. Roca?
Present.
Ms. Holzer?
Present.
Ms. Faith?
I'm here.
Madam Chair, we have a full quorum.
Yes, we do. Excellent. That's great.
We
Uh,
do have one postponement.
great.
This came late last week. That's for the grass cutting violation 24-010. The appellant is still working with the city on the hearing. We do not have a final decision letter from them yet, so we need to postpone it.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you, sorry.
002, isn't it?
002, yes. Thank you. 002, that's regarding 737 East 93rd Street, the grass cutting violation for Jennifer Hurd. This case will not be heard this morning. There'll be no testimony on that.
Okay. And are they going to resolve it or do we need to give them a new date?
We may still need to
All right.
have another date, so let's go ahead and give it one. How about the middle of March?
Okay.
So that would be March 18th or the 11th.
Let's do 18th.
So calendar 24-002 has been postponed to March 18th.
Okay. Without objection, board? Thank you. All right. Anything else?
And that is all that we have.
All right.
Postponements.
All right. We have Councilman Kelly with us, I think. Yes. Okay. So as a courtesy, it's top of our agenda now anyway, but as a courtesy to council, when they're present, we take their cases first. So anyone in the room making testimony for that case, if you'll please come to the table. Good morning. Everybody can. Hold on.
You're about to see how important.
Yeah, well, okay. Ms. Holzer, so this is calendar number 24-006.
You're muted, Leah.
I was all excited. I was saying good morning to everyone. Sorry about that. Our first case is calendar number 24-006. This is at 11817 Lorraine Avenue. Variety Properties LLC owner proposes to rehabilitate a historic building for use as residential, retail, and entertainment in a C1 local retail business district and a pedestrian retail overlay district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 5, with a note that landmarks approval is required. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'm going to swear in all who are present for this case. I'll state the oath and you can reply. I'll start with you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do in your name.
I do, Nate Ball, 615 Avenue.
Thank you. Over to you next.
I do. Chad Dasher, 10313 Lorraine Avenue.
Thank you.
I do. Danny Kelly, 355 West 132nd Street, Cleveland.
Thank you.
I do. Kelly Flamos, I do. 1272 Ramona Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio.
I do. Hannah Garrity, 3375 West 118th Street, Cleveland.
I do, David. David Stack, 3489 West 126th Street.
Thank you. Is there anyone online who wishes to speak in this matter?
Yes, Steve Jennings with LDA Architects.
Okay, do you want to swear in? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Steve Jennings.
Anyone else online who wishes to speak in this matter? All right, back to you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Kelly and Hannah, if you could just spell your last names for us, please, for the court reporter.
Flamos, Flamos.
Great.
Garrity, Gereby.
Great. Thank you so much. We do have a court reporter. She's not present with us in the room anymore, but she is online. So, all right, great. We'll go to history of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned general retail in 1929. In 2007, it was changed to local retail business and pedestrian retail overlay district. In our records administration office, we found that in 1927, a permit was issued to erect a 2-story masonry building for a theater and commercial use. In 1964, a permit was issued to repair incinerator and replace 5 doors in a building used by 12 dwelling units, 9 stores, office, and 1 theater. There's 1 variance on file, Madam Chair, in calendar 76-134. This board granted a variance to convert to a restaurant the easterly storeroom portion of the building. And then, Madam Chair, there is 1 record, more recent history. In 2021, a permit was issued to board up. I'm not sure if it's a window or door on the property, and it was, again, 2021. And that's all I think.
All right, legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, applicant is requesting a use variance and area variances from the transition strip, minimum distance, and parking requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property. Without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, the appellant must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the city district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Great, thank you. Councilman Kelly, typically council people like to make their statements last. Will that be true with you today?
That would be fine. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, great. All right, who's going to be the spokesperson?
I'll go first.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm Kelly Flamos, and I'm the owner of the Variety Theater Complex. And prior to purchasing this building, I was a co-owner of May Halls in Lakewood. When I purchased it in 2011, it was a struggling bowling alley, and we converted the billiards hall into a live music venue, also for other types of performing arts and events. And that ushered in a dramatic change in the Birdtown neighborhood of Lakewood. And the goal with the Variety Theater is, well, one, it's a historic landmark, and we are approaching the restoration of the building and as using it as it was built, right? It was built as a vaudeville theater before it became a movie theater. And we're approaching this project in a way to like do less, just to restore it to its intended use. And there's not much you can do with a theater. You can't show movies anymore. And I mean, movie theaters aren't like a viable business. So that's the thinking behind using the stage for performing arts.
So the intent is to just do performing arts there? Are
Also-
you going to use it for events or?
Yes, private events like weddings and community events. I've already been working with community-based arts-focused organizations that do performing arts education with youth in Cleveland, so that when the theater is like dark per se during the daytime, or when there's not a private or a ticketed event planned, the theater space can be utilized by these community organizations for their programming at no cost to them. So because before Mayall's, I was a social worker, so I really believe that the arts can bring people together, and that there's ways that this theater can really be a beacon for the neighborhood and for the city of Cleveland at large. And that it can be shared with community-based organizations, the Cleveland Public Schools, and still be a successful business at the same time.
And what about the storefronts that are attached in the residential
The
aspect?
plan for the storefronts is, we're gonna try to target food businesses because there's no plan to have prepared foods in the theater space.
So something that might be able to cater for those events, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right.
And then the apartments would be studio apartments.
And they're upstairs above the theater, is that
Yes.
correct? Just the theater proper or the other spaces as well?
There are no apartments above the theater. They're
Okay.
just above the storefront.
Just above the storefronts. Okay, great. All right. Is that all you have to say? Do you want to pass it on to another member of your
Well, do you have
project
any more
team, or-
questions?
We'll probably come back to that after
Okay.
we've heard testimony. Okay. Who else on your team would like to speak?
I think the architect.
Okay. All right,
Hi,
Mr. Jennings, go ahead.
Thank you. So I think Kelly stated everything very well. The idea of, bringing back to the original uses. For the zoning variance, obviously the entertainment use was one of the main items. The other item was parking. So I would like to point out that directly across the street from the theater is a 100-space parking lot that is city-owned. So although there is no parking on, specifically on our site, the city provided public parking across the street with the intent that it would be, supporting the theater district. The other note, I think there was an 8-foot transition. I noticed in one of the photos you have on the slides, you can see on the back alley. So the bottom 2 photos here, there's actually just an 8-foot alley behind the building, which is used for egress. So there are egress from the theater that come out the back of the building. So that does need to be a paved egress path behind the building as it is currently.
Okay. All right. We have a whole team here, so who else would just do it next statement?
Oh, yeah.
Just go down the line?
Sure, absolutely. Good morning, Nate Law, with City Planning, the planner for this neighborhood. I just wanted to provide some additional context. As Steve stated, the Variety Streetscape Plan, which was done in 2011 by Westtown CDC, created about approximately 102 parking spaces across the street that were intended to be used for the restoration of the theater in anticipation of increased traffic in the area, more people in the area as part of its restoration. And also just wanted to state that this project went to Landmarks Commission on January 11th and was approved by Landmarks Commission with a recommendation to submit a signage plan to staff and for lighting to align with the existing marquee. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
What was the date on that, Nate?
That was January 11th of this year.
Okay. Great, thank you. Mr. Dasher?
Morning.
Good morning.
I could go for an hour, but I'm not gonna do that.
We know this is, we know this has a history.
Yeah, back in 2008, when we did the Lorraine Avenue Master Plan, we identified the Variety Theater as pretty much the keystone of this centerpiece of this master plan. We did back in 2008, we did that, and then updated again in 2021, just to see the traction we've had in that area there. We kept that as the centerpiece here. Like our planner here said, do a green infrastructure grant with the sewer district, Westtown and the city, develop approximately 95 spots across the street. That doesn't even include the available on-street parking, which I think will get up to about the number that Kelly needs for her permits. Beyond that too, we did the NOACA, we got an implemented NOACA TLCI plan done there, and I just want to make sure I give you the right dates. They finished that one in 2018, which, we've got the bike racks, the street furniture, the crosswalks, we've done so much to get the infrastructure done over there. Just waiting for this project to happen. The bike lanes came through as part of the Cleveland's Bikeway plan. Even before that, we got a First Energy grant to do electrical upgrades and for, to support the marquee installation. Those are the big ones, not to count the countless broken windows we've fixed, graffiti we've removed, grass cutting, litter removal, being in there at, 8 in the morning on a freezing January, putting shark bites on a busted pipe. We've been safekeeping this for so long. We've had a lot of developers come through and just come up a little bit short. And in comes Kelly, and she's really got her stuff together. And we're really behind this. I know this is a pun from yesterday, but this is our Super Bowl. And I think this is just such a catalytic thing for our neighborhood and in the Lorraine Avenue corridor. This is just, we've been waiting for this for a long time, Madam Chair.
Yes. Okay, how about you folks?
Well, what I found was when I received the paper, I see that all of this zoning that's on here, none of this, when the Variety Theater was built or through its all existence, none of these was valid or, so if this should ask for or be expecting a variance, I think that it never did apply to that area in the first place, all this zoning that it says. So I think that a variance would be very important here because the 500 feet, this and that, even when it was built, even through all of its time, there was no 500 feet for all of these decades. So a variance just seems to me that what we're looking for here, that it only stands to reason because it never did follow any of this. Plus, it would be very good. I live right across the street from it, and I think that would be very good to have something that's alive instead of being dead as it has been for decades now.
All right. Well, it was built in 1927, so it does predate some zoning.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
It's not the oldest building we've had, but
And
it's
it never-
older.
It didn't suffer any of this for those decades that it was functioning.
Okay, how about you, sir?
Hi, I'm David Stack. I'm the president of the board of the Westtown Community Development Corp. And I'm here to support this project because like Chad mentioned, there's a catalytic project in the neighborhood. We're looking forward to it. Bringing in additional retail, the entertainment factor to help other businesses in the area. We've been looking at this for years and so anxious to get this project and so happy to have Kelly Flamos and her group involved with it so that we can get a positive result out of this project. We're looking at new residential, new commercial, right in the buildings itself, besides how it's going to support the businesses in the area, plus new businesses that are waiting to come in. So and we really would appreciate that the board would allow these variances. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, yes.
Could we have Mr. David spell out his last name? Is it Sack?
Stack, S-T-A-C-K. Yes.
S-T-A-C-K. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. To you, sir, Mr. Councilman Kelly.
Sure, thank you. You know what, I'm very excited about this. And I believe when I've been here, fortunate enough to be here as a city councilman in Cleveland for a year now. And it's a great job when you can help people. Sometimes when you can't, it takes a little more prayer. But this right here, I always thought would be a catalyst. And we're very close to getting it. I like Kelly because she was very receptive. I didn't realize she was a social worker, but I have 5 schools in my ward. I have 3 CMSD elementary schools, 1 Catholic elementary school, 1 charter school, and 1 high school. And they're all very excited because part of what I wanted to do is get some of the arts there, some of the theater, some of the music, we're starting there. She's very receptive to that. And if the community could, have that space at no cost or limited cost, that she had no problem with that. So this is really going to not just be a ticketed venue or a venue where a wedding is. This is going to be a community place, which is what we need. And when you look at the parking you have across the street and whatnot, and you look at Ohio City and Tremont and folks, I'm of the age when I worked in the steel mills down there and we walked up and the only thing there were beer joints then. All they had was mill dust on the floor. You went there for chili and a beer, You look at that now, you have to be of a certain age. I really believe 5, 10, 15 years from now, you're going to see a lot of that transformation with what Kelly's going to do, variety. There is spaces below to have some sort of food. I grew up in Collinwood where you have the Beachland Ballroom, what they did on Waterloo Road there. Kelly has more space than they have there for venues. They have just food that they cook there. They really have no restaurants around there. We have space across the street with wide sidewalks. It's going to be fantastic. I'm very excited about it. Plus, it's going to help every kid in that neighborhood. So I'm very supportive and very excited that we have a local owner that's kind of done this before and a mom, so. And I was a single dad, so.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you all.
Thank you. Chad, you want to maybe just run down a little bit the history of how the venue has evolved in the nature of the neighborhood? So how?
Oh, the building itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Kelly said earlier, it started off as a vaudeville theater. And, when stuff like that started going to the wayside here in the city, you saw it move into movie theater and concert hall. Concerts stopped early 90s after a couple shows. Last thing I saw there was I think I was like in 8th grade. My dad and I went and saw Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard on, before they had pay-per-view, you'd have to go places and watch closed circuit. So we saw that there. Then they were doing events like that. Then it was a WrestlePlex for a little bit. Pro wrestling in it.
I did not know that.
Then it turned to a charter school. And then the theater, very short-lived charter school. I can't even remember what the name of it was. That was right when I started at Westtown in January of '99. And the charter school was just finishing up there. Then the theater itself just shuttered. You still had a number of storefronts that still occupied. But over the years, with the conditions of the building, they just started moving out. And the last one was Joe Potts, Nationwide Insurance, which we just found him another spot. We're like, hey, we gotta shut this, we got this building's got just, it doesn't flow on a balance sheet
So you
anymore.
relocated him?
So we relocated him. He's still on Lorraine. He's just a couple blocks over he's on the 123rd block of Lorraine now instead of the 119th block.
Okay.
Yeah, but still retained a neighborhood business. And that's kind of how that's evolved. And pretty much since like 2008, it's been one campaign after another to, to save this theater. A lot of people have come close, but, assembling financing and everything, but no one's quite got there. And I think we're here.
What's the situation with the parking area that's sort of at the corner of 117th and Lorraine that I think is technically owned by the Rite Aid there?
Okay.
I mean, is that?
Rite Aid just closed.
Okay,
The Guardian Trust Building is under new ownership
okay,
and is one of the candidates now. I'm in contact with them and 3 other buildings right there. We just nominated them for some of the Cleveland Neighborhood Progress Middle Neighborhood Initiative funds to bring those buildings back. With how much traction this project's getting, it is already bringing in more interest with people
Good.
that have buildings there that want to, like, all right, hey, everything you said was going to be happening over the last 10 years is happening.
well, I ask because, with regard to the parking, sometimes what we do with these event centers is have them have some sort of contract so that if they need overflow parking, they have an agreement with another property owner where they can park there.
There's been some plans over the years. I know when the project group was working on it with us, they were talking about reaching out to the owners of the West Town Square. I know it's down there a little bit, but that could serve very well for valet parking.
Right, because that was gonna be my next question. If we're
Yes.
gonna do weddings and other events, we're probably gonna have valet parking.
And there's
So-
opportunities there for more. There's some lots back there that are unimproved, that could be improved. Like I said, there's like 95 spots over there right now. There is probably, I would say, another 30 or 40 within what we consider that quarter-mile walking. People are willing to walk to something. Probably about another 30, 40 just in there. So you take
Okay.
that 95, you add another 30 to it. You're getting really close to the number that's on the BZA sheet there.
It's also on close to, within easy walking distance, seconds away really from both RTA routes going
Yes.
east and west and north and south. So,
Yes.
okay. All right. Any of you have anything else? All right, board, I'll let you make questions or comments. I don't have.
Madam Chair, I just have a question regarding, do we have hours of operation fleshed out, employee numbers, et cetera?
All right, good question, Ms. Roca. Do we have that
We
information?
have estimates.
Okay,
I think,
hours need to be a little firm.
yeah, I would say no right now because
Well, we have to have some hours.
oh, okay. So like I said, there's an intention to have the space utilized by community groups for arts education programming during the day. I don't anticipate that happening before 10 a.m.
Okay.
And then the way shows work, they usually wrap by 11 p.m. So I'm thinking like you would see the most action around the theater between 6 and 11 p.m.
Kelly, when do you think the building would be vacated at the end of the day? How late would that be?
Well, I think we would stay open for people that wanted to stay around and have a drink. So
1?
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll say that.
all right.
But I think that like most of the people would leave when a show ends or an event, which is
Right.
around 11.
But you'd still have staff and
Yes.
things like that. So,
We'll
So
say
let me,
Yeah.
you'll have a liquor license, correct?
yes.
So you want to just go to the liquor license
It's
time,
2:30.
2:30. Okay.
right? I mean, I think we want to be as broad as possible for you.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say, I think we need to open it up in the morning hours, go as early as 8 probably, in
Okay.
case you have to have people that need to get in and set up.
Thank you for guiding me along.
Sure.
this one.
Okay, and that brings us to staff.
So the estimates for the theater are between 25 and 50 staff for the theater. And then probably, I mean, the plan is to lease the storefront, so I don't have estimates for
Sure.
those. But the property management for the apartments and the building, the retail units, 3 to 5 staff members for that.
Okay.
How many apartments are there?
12.
And did you say those are all gonna be studios? Or
Yes, they're gonna stay the same.
all studios? Okay. And what's the capacity for the venue in terms of attendees?
It's gonna be between, somewhere between 1,000 and under 2,000. We don't have a set number yet.
It can hold that many people?
It had 1,900 seats.
Really? Wow. Okay.
So
We
it
have
could
a very
hold-
big wedding.
It could hold more. Well, the seats on the main floor have been removed. So we'll terrace that. That'll reduce capacity.
Okay. All right. Does that answer all your questions, Ms. Roca?
It does.
Okay. Anyone have anything else?
I would just clarify when Kelly said studios, they are a combination of studios and one bedrooms. Sometimes they're all very small units, but there could be a partition kind of creating a bedroom space.
Okay. All right. Anything else, anyone? All right, I'll entertain a motion then.
Chair, I would move to approve calendar number 24-006 based upon the testimony we heard today.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wilson. Could I have a second?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. Ms. Kukla, you want to call the vote?
Sure. Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Calendar number 24-006 is granted. It'll be ratified when we meet again on February 26th. Then we will send you a letter. Feel free to contact our office that following Wednesday for further instruction.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Everyone's excited to have you doing this, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
All right, do we have any other council people that have shown up? All right, awesome. Ms. Holzer, we'll move on to calendar number 24-008.
Sounds good. Our next case is calendar number 24-008. This is at 1500 Franklin Boulevard. Ohio City Farm proposes to expand an existing agricultural use by erecting a new building, parenthetically Ohio City Farm Market Hall, with business spaces and a commercial kitchen in an E5 multifamily residential district. The owner appeals freely from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. I will swear in all who are present for this case, starting with you both. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, your name and your address.
I do. Patrick Kearns, 4307 Orchard Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44111.
I do. Magdalena Young, 1458 Clarence Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio.
Is there anyone online who wishes to speak in this matter? Hearing none, back to you, Madam Chair.
Great, I'm sorry, could we get the spelling of your name?
Magdalena, Magdalina.
And the last name?
Young, Young.
Great, thank you. All right, history of the property, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned semi-industry in 1929. In 1961, it was changed to multifamily. We didn't find anything in our records administration office. We did find that there's one variance on file in calendar 15-130 on July 13th, 2015. This board granted a variance for CMHA and the refugee response. Proposal to install a 28 by 16-foot permanent covered garden wash station in an E5 multifamily residential district at the corner of Franklin Avenue and Bridge Avenue. At that time, they were appealing for relief from a 5-foot setback requirement along Bridge and a 1 foot, where a 1 foot 7-inch setback was proposed. There are no conditions on this variance, and that's all that we have that's relevant, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. Legal standard, please?
Madam Chair, members of the board, owner is requesting an area variance from the accessory structure requirements of the zoning code and a special determination approving agricultural sales from the farm stand at this location. To obtain the area variance, one must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To make the determination, the board must find the farm stand as sales will meet a community need without adversely affecting the neighborhood.
Great, thank you. Who's going to be the spokesperson?
I think I'll start.
All right, go
So
ahead.
thanks for having us here today. My name is Patrick Kearns. I'm the Executive Director of Resource Cleveland, formerly the Refugee Response. We are a local nonprofit only in Cuyahoga County. We provide a wide range of support services to newcomer families. Right now, we work with about 1,000 individuals per year through school-based programs, after-school and sports programs, family wraparound support services, and then we have been operating the Ohio City Farm for the past 14 years. The project started off as a cooperative community farm with 6 different partners. And over the years, our organization picked up more and more of the footprint to the point where we have signed a lease with CMHA for the use of that property for long term. We started off without an electric socket. There was not an electric pole or any utilities on the property 14 years ago. Through this time, we've built a very robust and thriving business. It allows us to hire 9 newcomers that work on our staff. Those folks have been with us for years now. All of them are now U.S. citizens. The majority have bought houses in Cleveland, and their children are going to university or thriving in high school. So our role in this project is really a community-focused role. Our starting point with this building, which what we're calling the pavilion structure, was the fact that we can't sell our produce at this time of the year because we can't wash it. We are all outside. We have high tunnels and we can heat them and we can grow produce right now, but we have the inability to turn the water on. We can't hire staff in the wintertime. So it really limits our ability to keep people employed all the year round. It really limits our ability for our business to expand. And the fact that 14 years, we've never had an indoor bathroom for our staff. These are really priorities for the quality of life. So using a porta potty in December is nobody's idea of a good day on the job. So one of the big, pushes we started with as an organization is our focus is making the best possible work environment for our staff members as we can. Very proud to say that this year we will have an average wage for our farmers of $18.26 per hour, which is so well above and beyond what agriculture workers make in Northeast Ohio. In order to continue this to be a thriving social enterprise that provides a lot of different services to the community, this is the structure that's going to take us into the next 10 to 15 years. Part of this is that ability to continue hire on our staff through the wintertime, to wash and pack our produce. We have a 350 member community supported agriculture membership program right now. This will allow us to run that program through the wintertime as well, increasing our ability to sell and keep our staff retained through the wintertime period so they do not have to go on furlough. In addition to that, we will build out different areas of this building that allow us to sell our products, what we grow on the farm. Starting this year, we are bringing back community gardens on our property. We will have 12 different families with community garden plots on the property. And we hope that this will also be a place where they can access retail opportunities in the future from what they sell on our land. We will work with small vendors to bring in value-added products to sell with a focus on local organic foods that are grown in the city. And then in addition, a commercial kitchen in the space. A lot of our work is with education. A lot of our work is with families. The commercial kitchen will be open to vendors, but it will also have a principal role to work with students and families that they can see, you can pick this from the garden, you can bring it inside, you can learn how to cook it, and you can take a new recipe home. So education is a principal goal of what we're trying to accomplish here with this project. And I think we're probably happy to take any Maggie, probably you can walk through the designs from there.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to touch a little bit on the height variance that we're seeking as well. And part of that is, I think, to Patrick's point, they're doing such great work in the neighborhood. And there's a lot of shocking amount of people that don't know about this farm. But it is in a really prime location. And so kind of the way that we sculpted the building and created this really glassy entrance as you approach from West 25th is to actually draw a little attention to it, to say, hey, welcome, this is public facing as well, come check us out. And with the Irishtown Bend project coming up, we're going to get more traffic through there. So that is kind of the reasoning for seeking this variance and not just complying with the height requirements, is we want this to seem like more than just an agricultural building, because it is more than just an agricultural building.
What are your finishing materials on the building?
Yeah, so the kind of the dark gray and the white siding that you see are going to be a metal siding, like a ribbed metal
corrugated.
siding. And then it'll be a standing seam metal roof, and the structure will have an exposed wood deck. So you'll get kind of a lot of warmth from the underside there and these exposed wood trusses. It's not quite as dense trusses as the original rendering here shows, but you get kind of a blend of that agricultural look by exposing some of the structure and things like that as well.
Are you capturing the rainwater?
It will be very easy to do that in the future. We're not doing that to begin with, but all the roof kind of slopes one way, and it'll be very easy for them to set that up in the future.
Yeah, that's why I wondered.
Yep.
Okay. And what is your staff now? Or what do you anticipate it to be?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So our organization right now has 36 staff members that are cross programs. We have 9 staff members that are dedicated to the work on the Ohio City Farm. We anticipate that this will immediately increase us to an additional 5 staff members for this project, while then allowing 8 to 12 vendors we work with to sell produce and value-added products, and an additional 8 partners to work with us in the commercial kitchen.
Are you doing youth education in the kitchen? Is that part of the plan?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And family meal planning, life skill, that kind of thing.
That is our bread and butter in our organization.
Okay.
And the ability to have this and have a dedicated commercial kitchen space to really upgrade that would be amazing.
And your vendors, you plan to bring in like probably some folks that are doing honey or eggs, chicken?
So with the commercial kitchen license, we hope to be able to store eggs and chicken and then include that partnership into our CSA program in the future. Of course, we'll go through the licensing with the commercial kitchen as well.
And hours of operation?
We anticipate this to be open 5 days a week from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
And what 5 days are you choosing?
It probably will be Tuesday through Saturday. Well, I could say Tuesday through Saturday at this time.
Okay. And I'm sorry, the hours again were?
8 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
8 to 5.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I think we're going to give you a little cushion and probably go to 6 on that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Given I'm very excited about the fact that sunset's almost at 6 o'clock now.
And it's the best view in the city. It's really fantastic.
All right. All right. Liz, did we have correspondence?
Yes, I'm not sure if, I think Xavier may have them.
Yeah, I got a couple of
You have them on the screen.
We have support from the Director of City Planning, with support from the council person, support from Ohio City Inc., support from councilperson Jenny Spencer. Then we have.
And McCormick?
Yes, both.
Okay.
council People, it is in McCormick's.
Yeah,
ward.
that's why,
Market Garden Brewery supporting the variance. It's this Land Studio. Land Studio is supporting the variance. Or is that where you are from, or?
No. They did a kind of a preliminary planning study that kind of cited the building where it is now.
Yeah.
oh, did they?
Yes. So we
Okay.
worked with CMHA and Land Studio to do the initial study that gave us this concept. And then Land Studio is working with the Irishtown Bend project, of which this project is very connected to.
Right, okay.
And then there's another from a neighbor in the area. He notes that this abandoned lot continues to be a blight on the community. And he's excited to see more investment in the community, bringing more residents to Franklin Avenue, more eyes and foot traffic on the street, more people to support businesses and make Ohio City a live, work, and play neighborhood.
Okay, great. All right, board questions?
I don't have any questions, Madam Chair.
Okay, Ms. Roca, do you have anything to add?
No, ma'am.
All right. Lady?
No questions, but it's a very attractive building and obviously a wonderful project. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is. I mean, for the purpose, it's really a nice looking building. And I think it's wonderful that it's facilitating a pathway for people coming into the country, helping out. So, all right, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of calendar 24-008, proposing to build a pavilion for the Ohio City Farm Market Hall to expand its ability to work year-round, provide better accommodations for its staff and gardeners, and to also serve the community more fully.
Great, thank you. Could I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second.
Flip?
Got lots of seconds.
We're gonna have to install buzzer buttons. All right. Actually, Ms. Roca, Ms. Wilson was in first on that, so. All right. Do you want to call the vote?
Sure. Ms. Holzer,
Yes.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Fate.
Yes.
Calendar number 24-008 is granted. It'll be ratified on February 26th. We will send you a letter, but please feel free to contact our office on that Wednesday for further instruction.
You can have outside picnic tables?
We do now. We do now. And,
Okay.
yeah, and so part of the idea is really to make it a community destination space.
Yeah.
We keep it open to the public, but it's without a roof and without a restroom. It's been tough. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well,
this will do a lot for that.
particularly having a restroom, I would think.
Yeah.
That's gotta be difficult. All right, thank you.
Thank
Good
you very
luck.
much. Thank you very much.
When this will open.
That's a great question. We hope to cut a ribbon in early 2025. That is, ambitious. But, if everything goes right, that's our goal. And then to have commercial kitchen operations open a year after that is kind of the goal.
So looking at 2026 to be really up and rolling.
That's correct. That's
Yeah,
correct.
okay,
So we
great.
want to use it for the wash and pack station for the first year.
Sure.
And then to roll in the other aspects the following year.
Great. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good day. All right, I assume no other council people? All right, then we'll move on, Ms. Holzer, to 24-009.
Sounds good. Our next case is calendar number 24-009. This is at 10518 Superior Avenue. Light Rain Artisan Co. LLC owner proposes to establish use as a blown glass art studio in a G2 local retail business district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
I will swear in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, your name and your address.
Annie Orris, and yes, forgive me. And my home address is 16141 Brewster Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112.
Okay, and let me have you spell your last name.
Orris, Orris.
And what do you make?
Good morning. Robert Braden Bacha, yes. Same address, 16141 Brewster Road, East Cleveland, 44112. Thank you.
Madam Chair, do we take yes as I do? Or should
I do.
Thank you.
There we go. Okay. perfect.
He's flexible.
Is there anyone online who wishes to speak in this matter?
Good morning. This is Ava Schmidt from Famicos Foundation. I do 1325 Ansel Road.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Ariel Washington, Cleveland City Planning. I do.
Okay.
So excited.
Yes.
Yes, got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ariel, you're really breaking up on us, so you might want to check your connection. And Robert, can you spell your last name
Yes.
for us?
Bacha, Bacha.
Okay, great. Who's the glass artist?
I am.
You are?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else online? Okay, back to you, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. History of the property, please.
This property was originally zoned general retail in 1929. In 1970, it was changed to local retail business district. In our records administration office, we found that in 1895, a permit was issued to erect a store and dwelling building. And then in 1920, a permit was issued to establish use as a bank for banking. 1981, we found that a use permit was issued to use the bank structure as an office. There's one variance on file in calendar 90-353 that was issued on January 14th of 1991. The appellant at the time appealed from the decision of the Commissioner of Building and Housing for permission to convert the basement to an assembly hall dance studio, the first floor to retail stores, and the second floor to offices. And Madam Chair, this variance was granted, and again, that was issued on January 14th, 1991. And then there's nothing.
I'm sorry, Liz, what was the 91 dash what?
it's 90-353.
Okay.
And that was issued January 14th, 1991.
Okay,
And then nothing to note in the more recent history.
all right. Legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance for the requirements of the zoning code. To obtain a use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in unnecessary hardship, particular to the property, such there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granted variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning.
Great, thank you. All right, Annie, are you going to be the spokesperson?
I will be.
All right. Are you nervous?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Don't be.
I'm a newcomer to this whole process, but I'm very excited to be here. So thank
Okay, excellent. Go ahead.
you. Forgive that I moved. This is all happening.
This is a milestone for you, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I am a blown glass artist. I started my company Light Rain here in Cleveland. And I've literally been just renting time at different studios to be able to make my pieces. And now I'm selling my pieces on the West Coast at two of the most elite stores. And I look forward to reaching New York City and Chicago. And expanding. But long story short, I need my own place to work now. And whew, I looked into purchasing a building and she became available and she's a dream come true. So I love this building. I know that there's a lot of love for the building from the community, from people who've known this building for, decades. She's been sitting empty for a very long time. She has had a lot of damage done to her. So I look forward to rehabilitating her, bringing her back to her beauty, and reestablishing her as a signature in Cleveland as my design house and my blown glass studio. So my company right now, and showroom, yes. So my company Light Rain is my blown glass company. What I do, I make each piece myself, and I hand pour with only all natural candle wax, so essential oils. So in essence, I come from a healing background. I'm a Reiki master. I bring energy to my pieces so that they vibrate and beautiful love around them. And that's in addition to why I do the all natural candle wax. So I use coconut and soy, all renewable sources, and then essential oils. Essential oils actually have their own world of benefits to the surrounding area. Lavender is very calming. Lemongrass is uplifting. Those types of things. They are purely natural, so they're safe for people literally with asthma. They're safe for babies. A lot of people sadly use candles all the time, but they're breathing in toxins and they don't even realize it. Fragrances, perfumes, they'll say it's natural, it's not. So you really have to be very clear. So this is so natural that literally you can use it on your hands as a moisturizer. So my company is sustainable. They are on purpose designed to be a forever gift. You use it, you enjoy the beauty of the light that they provide, but then they also live on forever with memories. They're cherished forever. And where I'm going also with my company is that they will be refillable. So this is what they look like empty. So after it's been used, you're left with a beautiful empty vessel that you can use many ways as a vase, or with my bigger plans. Like I said, I look forward to working with local businesses for weddings, for receptions, restaurants, you name it. That way there's less waste and people are, like I said, living in the company of beauty and health. So these are some of my designs here. I went with the Valentine's little motif, little pink love for everyone today. And my company is called Light Rain. My bigger purpose is to remind everybody of their own true light and to be that in the world. So that's what I'm about.
So Annie, you're blowing the glass vessels.
Yes.
Yourself.
Yes, and then this is my husband, Braden. So he and I are a team now, because you usually have a partner. So Braden, he and I literally
needed. I'm a punty man, so I need to.
We literally are making
glass
this together right
rod
now.
at the same temperature as her, so we need to speak without speaking to each other, so that they latch on.
It's a dance,
and then
right?
She's able to work the lip towards the end of the process, and then it's a 24-hour annealing process once it's done. And she kind of hibernates, and then the next morning you look at them and you have babies waiting for you.
Yeah, these are all my babies, my children of light, as I like to say.
And then you fill it with your custom candles.
Correct.
All
yes,
right.
I hand pour. They're small batch pours, so again, just very healthy. And with the company, now that it's outgrowing myself, and what my husband and I are able to do, I look forward to doing the blown glass studio and being able to hire blown glass artists that are graduating from Cleveland Institute of Art, from Kent State.
Mhm.
A lot of times they have to move, they have to go elsewhere to live and be artists. So I would love to keep our artists home and provide jobs. And then I also will be hiring for my pouring team. So those will be probably 2 or 3 other people that will do the pouring as well.
Okay.
That's what I'll be growing into. At first it'll be small as I grow, but I look forward to expanding very quickly.
So staffing at the moment is 2?
2, yes.
All right.
And then I'll be hiring probably 6 blown glass artists and probably 2 of my pouring team to begin.
later when I start, doing where I need people emptying the vessels and it starts that whole recycle reuse program, I'll be bringing more people on because that'll require more.
Now, you purchased the whole building?
Yes.
Okay, because it's a great old building. I mean,
Yes.
very stately. And what are you gonna have to do for it to accommodate the furnace and everything that you need to be able to blow the glass?
Actually, luckily not much. Really, restoration of the building. I need to start with the roof and just get her where she's not leaking in anymore, and then I can start rehab on the building. As far as the blown glass studio space, right now it's sectioned off into separate little offices on the main floor. I'm gonna keep several. The front one will stay a showroom. I'll do a conference room, and then I'm literally taking out 3 offices just down to the pillars. Just opening that space, and that's where my furnace and 2 benches will sit. And then I'll have
You
that
have a
work.
professional hood installer coming in, and they'll be giving the heat
So
upwards. It's already set up
that'll
like
be open
that, so we
space
just need
there,
to
and then I have
get
a
it professionally put in.
and then I have a room that I just do simple. You just go in and you file the bottom down so you get nice flat bottoms. So that's kind of cold work at that point.
Okay, great. So with the staffing, what are your hours of operation going to be?
Probably
We'll do
like
8
8
to 4.
to 4. I might be there earlier, obviously, as I have to be there early and things like that. I mean, so
Right.
late, that type of thing. But as far as probably working hours, will be 8 to 4.
All right. And the studio hours, 8 to 4 as well?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And 7 days, or what's your plan on that?
5 days. I might grow into a Saturday. Eventually.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna say 6 days for you.
Okay, thank you.
Just so you have that built in for eventuality.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, did we have any correspondence on this?
We did receive an email from the councilman. He's expressing support for the variance. He states that this will be a shot in the arm for East 105th and Superior. Again, that's Councilman Conwell.
Yeah, and it's surrounded by vacant land, right?
It is.
Is there a parking lot?
There's, and I didn't know that when I purchased the building. I'm like, okay, eventually there'll be more going on, but I'd love to be a staple here in the beginning of all the good energy. The lot next door, the adjacent lot parallel on the east side is land bank available right now. So I am applying for that.
All right.
Because the lot itself, the building takes up the whole parcel.
Right.
And there is planned, I learned, for parking behind with Amico. I think there's developments happening.
Okay.
Yeah, about $50 million worth of developments. It's really exciting.
It's beautiful.
Very exciting.
Gonna be
It's very
beautified, and the
exciting. I
energy's
just
gonna
got to meet with
be
Amico
uplifted.
last week with John and Khalid, and I'm thrilled to see the plans. And my building is in the renderings of their plans for the corner lot, and I'm so excited to hear about their kind of pedestrian alley there and what they're going to have going on, and I'm excited to be in that atmosphere.
It's gonna be the hot spot.
Yeah.
Be great. All right. We have Ava from Famicos. Did you want to make a statement, Ava?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to again reiterate Famicos' support of this project. We think the appellant is coming in with a lot of passion. We're excited to see the new plans for this building and really bring some activity to this important intersection. And as I just mentioned, it also complements our own plans for the neighborhood.
Great, thank you. All right. And do we still have Ariel on?
Good morning.
Okay, she came back.
Good
All right.
morning. I'm
Good
here.
morning,
Can you hear
Ariel.
me?
Go ahead. Yeah. Did we
Okay,
get
I
you-
apologize.
Did we get Ariel sworn in, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Ariel.
Good morning, everyone. Again, this is Ariel Washington, City Planning, the neighborhood planner. I also just wanted to express the same sentiments as Famikos and the councilman that I'm in agreement for a variance for this company. It is a very great business, which will be an addition to the area, and I look forward to seeing Toledo Glass Museum vibes in Cleveland.
Yes.
That's where my first blown glass class was, at the Toledo Museum of Art. So that's my heritage.
Excellent.
Okay.
Great. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ariel. All right, questions, board?
No question. I have a comment, Madam Chair. I lived in this neighborhood for many, many years, and I remember the woman who tried to revive this building and held on to it for many years. And she loved the building, but she wasn't successful in accomplishing her dreams. I think it's only fitting that another woman who loves the building will have an opportunity to go further than she did. And I wish you great success. This is a wonderful, wonderful use.
Thank you. I look forward to her being another beautiful beacon.
Absolutely.
Having you for the opening for one of our
Yeah,
shows. It's going to be a
have
special
little
evening
openings of new collections and things.
It's going to be great.
It's a great building. I happen to follow a glass blower out of the UK that's been around for ages. And so I've watched her videos, so I have a good understanding of your role in the
Yes.
project. So,
Pressure
you know,
cooker.
it's convenient that you're a couple. So,
We know each other.
yeah.
Yes. Like I said, it's a dance. It has to be the right temperature. You have to keep it happy, and it's
Creating together
it's a good
life,
analogy
you
of a
know, we've
marriage.
adjusted
Yeah.
being in Cleveland and taking care of
Yes.
her family the
Yeah.
last couple of years, and then now we're just growing
It's special.
and becoming.
And I love that you refer to the building as a she. So,
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, she's magnificent.
Yeah.
It's like it's a dream
and
come
I
true.
think the fact that you're doing the candles is a nice, it's also very sustainable. So that's great.
Thank you. That's a new idea that I'm kind of establishing, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or comments, board? If not, I'll entertain a motion. You want to take this one?
Absolutely. Delighted to. I move calendar 24-009, approving and establishing a new use as a blown glass art studio and showroom. And I wish, I move approval and wholeheartedly support the idea.
Great. Thank you. Ms. Roca, you want to buzz in with a second?
Sure, Board Member Roca, I second the motion on this epic building.
Okay.
Nice term.
I love it.
Yeah,
Epic.
it is epic.
Nice term.
Okay. You want to call the vote?
Sure. Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Calendar number 24-009 is granted. It'll be ratified on February 26th, so we will send you a letter, but please feel free to contact our office that following Wednesday for more instruction.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
you all
you're
so
welcome. Much.
And how do you feel now?
I am relieved and happy, and yes, I was obviously very nervous, very moved. Yeah, and
All
very
the love
excited.
that came through the channel that we were manifesting, but we didn't, you don't know until it happens. So
Yeah,
to
and then you
feel
don't
the
want to stumble over words. I was like,
family come together.
there's
is
so
that-
much to it, So thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, one more milestone crossed, so
Yeah.
good luck to you.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And your things are gorgeous, so
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
when
it.
do you expect to be up and running?
I would like to be where at least Braden and I can be up and
July.
making some things in July or August.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
that's what I'm aiming for, what we really kind of need, because we need to keep things moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I can keep beautifying and working on the building, but we gotta be.
Yeah, you've
practical
got to
and
have
get-
stuff in the
get up and
pipeline.
running.
Yes.
All right.
She's 2 stories.
2 stories.
Mhm.
You'd be blown
Beautiful
away by the
columns out
basement.
front.
Yeah.
What's that?
beautiful columns out front. I mean, it's.
Will you live there eventually?
Very.
No, it's pretty much a workspace and then display space, and the back upstairs is an office. So that'll be my design office. So what I kind of keep referencing, you have the House of Gucci, you have the House of Dior. This will be the House of Irene.
Very nice.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excited to work with other companies too.
All right. We'll move on to calendar number 24-1010. I imagine that's you folks. So we'll have you come forward and settle in. Once we have the precious things packed up here.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, I can read in the case, Madam Chair, if we're ready.
Yep, I think we've got everyone settled in.
Sounds good. Our next case is calendar number 24-010. This is at 11611 Harborview Drive. Dale Smith and Barbara Lum, owners, propose to erect an attached garage addition and second floor living space to an existing single-family residence in an AA1 limited one-family residential district. The owners appeal for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. I will swear in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand. Reply with I do, your name and your address. I'll start with you.
I do. Dale Smith, 11611 Harborview Drive.
I do. Barbara Lum, 11611 Harborview Drive.
I do. Cindy Stockman, 1053 Maple Cliff, Lakewood.
Thank you. Is there anyone online who wishes to speak in this matter? Hearing that, back to you, Madam Chair.
Okay, we'll go with the history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned single family in 1929. In 1956, it was changed to limited single family. We found in our records administration room that in 1964, a permit was issued to erect a two-story brick and frame one-family dwelling and basement. 1982, a permit was issued to erect a swimming pool and a stockade fence. There are no variances on file and nothing of note in the more recent history. Thank you.
Thanks. What year was the house erected?
1964.
All right. I had estimated it a little earlier than that when I looked at it, so. All right, legal standard?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Helen is requesting an area variance from the garage requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that tonight's request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by the land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting variance will not be contrary to purpose and intent of the zoning.
Thank you. Who's going to be the spokesperson?
I will.
All right, go ahead, Dale.
Thank you. I'm Dale Smith, the owner occupant of the property, here with my wife, the other owner occupant, Barbara Lum, and our architect, Cindy Stockman. Barbara and I purchased this home in 2016. At the time we had 0 kids. And now we've grown to love the neighborhood, love our neighbors, have welcomed 3 boys into our family, and have watched a lot of other families with kids move in the neighborhood. So it's really been Harborview Drive and the Edgewater neighborhood in general has been really great for us. Our oldest is a kindergartner at Campus International, so we're a CMSD family. And we're really thrilled that we purchased this home, and we're thrilled to live there, but we're starting to run out of space, and particularly the garage. It's a 2-car garage, but it really is a 1-car garage with some extra stuff. Once you put a couple bicycles and a lawnmower in there, it would be 2 cars and absolutely nothing else. So as you can see from the images, the garage already kind of hangs awkwardly off the front of the house. you know, especially being a front load garage, we thought it would be aesthetically more pleasing if it was a side load garage. So that was part of our plan as well. So this is for more space, for the aesthetics, and that's
So you're gonna go to 3 cars with side load.
side load facing the west, so the driveway would come up towards the front of, you know, towards the middle of the house, I suppose.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything to add?
Only to say that, obviously we have 3 children and I think this space would be a great benefit to our family, not only obviously having additional space in the garage for our vehicles, but also the additional space on top. In terms of the side load, part of the intent too is to have, the driveway into the side load garage, but it'll be a good spot in front of the house, utilizing the front door, and we can have an area for the children to play out in front of the house instead of right now where the garage just connects to the driveway and rolls out to the street.
And really kind of out of sight line too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The other thing I failed to mention is that we are proposing a second story space above the garage. My wife works from home. She's, I guess, fully remote is the term people use now. So this would be her home office, and the times when the kids are also home would be a place for her to be able to focus on work while we've got other people.
Okay, great. We were gonna get to that because anytime there's living space above the garage, we are interested in the intent of its use. So it's gonna be home office for you
Yes.
primarily.
Primarily, yes, and I anticipate someday maybe like the kids will use it when they're teenagers or something, but it'll definitely be living space and primarily office space.
Okay, all right. Anything to add?
Yeah, you can see by the site plan, there's a swimming pool in the back, so there's really no way to put a garage in the rear. So it was originally put in the front, and we're keeping it in the front, and it does come forward towards the street a little bit because we are turning it. We're having the garage doors face the side rather than the front of the street. So it kind of makes it look better. And we're also, the 2-story space is only over 2 of the bays. And then the 3rd bay steps down so that it's only 1 story. So it kind of softens that. So you're not having a giant mass at the front. It's stepping down towards the street. So it softens that view.
So that forward bay is the one that's the step down.
Correct.
And the 2 closer to the house.
Yes.
I'm just looking at the plan there. So your ridge is running on the diagonal into the.
Yeah, it's really a hip roof, which is what the existing house is. So we're mimicking that.
Okay, got it.
Which also softens that,
Yeah.
the angles, kind of keeps that not as such a harsh.
Have you
form.
spec'd the garage doors yet?
No.
No, so we don't have a picture of that. Have we thought that through? Do you know what you intend to use?
In terms of materials, or
What the appearance of the garage door is?
We do
So-
have I think we submitted.
there's an elevation
Did you?
with the material.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Okay, so we have lights at the top.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. More of a carriage house look.
more of a carrot, yeah.
And then windows across those all windows? Is that all glazing on the second
Yeah.
floor?
So the brick kind of comes up and
Yeah.
has like a sill, and then it just is more transparent at the top.
Yeah.
Again, to try to reduce the mass.
Right.
So that it doesn't feel as heavy.
Right, that'll open it up too. That'll make a nice workspace for
Yes.
Yeah,
what do you-
face north and it's very dark.
you. Yeah, what do you do?
I'm an attorney.
Okay,
I'm always.
we have 2 on the board, so. Just like, ladies, you might like this building. Miss Wilson is self-employed, so, yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
question, Madam Chair. Looking at this
Yes.
rendering, what's gonna be on the left-hand side?
A garage bay?
That's the third garage.
That's the third garage bay.
Third garage bay, okay.
Yeah.
thank
Right,
you.
yeah.
But
That's,
just on
where
the-
they step down the roof facing, so it's street, so, to the street facing.
Yeah. We have a side elevation as well that we submitted.
Got it. And then the
Yeah.
ADU space, the space above, is that gonna be like full electricity, plumbing, all that? Is it just
Yes.
an open room or is it a
You
sort of
putting a
like a?
bath in there?
There is
view?
a bath. I think there's a full bath,
There's
but
a
it's
full
very
bath.
small.
Yeah, it's very small. It's pretty
There
much
it
just
is.
one
Yep.
room with the bathroom
Okay.
and the staircase.
Oh, that's the garage
lighting.
space.
Yeah, this is the rendering I wanted to look at. Thank you. Back to the other one, Xavier. Thanks.
The lighting.
So
Yeah,
this is the
that's the
first, this is
garage
the-
space
actually
on
the
the first
garage
floor.
level. There should be another one that is the
second
floor plan,
floor.
the second floor.
Probably go down in numbers, like A5 or something.
Yeah, if you scroll maybe to the next one, there should be a rendering of the living space. Oh, that's,
Yeah, I would go,
no, that's it. Well, that's the lighting plan.
that's
I
the
think.
lighting.
But you can see the,
There's a
um,
closet and a bathroom.
yeah, the bathroom is up on the top right. There's a closet that's a square in the middle, and that kind of oblong on top is the stairway up. And then it'll be basically an open space, like you said, with the windows.
Does that answer your question, Ms. Roca?
It does, thanks.
Okay. All right, do we have a aerial view of the lot? Anything that shows the pool and the rear yard?
We submitted it, it should be a color photograph or photo.
Their site plan does better than the aerial view I got from.
All right, whatever.
Because of the trees, I think.
Yeah, it is
block
an
it.
awkward shaped lot, which is also part
Oh,
of
it
what we
is
took into
awkward, isn't it?
consideration. Yeah, like if you, I mean, I don't know if we submitted the Google, but you can kind of see that it goes sideways to the street,
Yeah,
which is partially why we wanted to, well, you designed it, but like, put it so that it makes it look like from the street, it's like right on instead of a weird sideways garage.
where does your driveway, because I went on, I looked at a street view, and you've got sort of an elliptical kind of traffic circle?
We do, there's a roundabout that's right in front of the house.
Yeah.
And so we enter, if you go around the roundabout, it's like right off of the roundabout. And then the driveway cuts, I don't know, southeast, but then the lot goes southwest. So it's very, I mean, the whole thing is, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there's the roundabout right there at the upper right. Our driveway kind of comes almost off of the roundabout, and then you can kind of see the drive,
And
the
and
current
new
driveway
drive would move slightly to the west.
okay. Is the
further
curb cut remaining the same,
west.
width-wise?
Width-wise,
Yes, the width-wise, yes, but I think it'll move a little bit to the,
well, so just for some history, at one time, there was a circular driveway in this house, so
yeah.
there's a curb cut further to the west of our property line.
Oh, that already
And I
exists
think
from
we would-
that?
We would use that.
Okay.
It's not the same, I think that would be like a 22 or 24-foot wide driveway that we have now. It's not that width, it would be more like 12.
Okay, excuse me. All right. Okay, any other discussion? City planning, oh, Xavier?
Hello there, it's Xavier Bay, representing city planning. We don't see an issue supporting this variance, or supporting approval for this variance. As the direction of the new entrance of the garage is gonna be facing into the lot, so it provides for better walkability. There's also screening provided by some of the trees going along their western parcel line as well. So I don't see an issue. And then it's beneficial also that they're shortening their distance of the drive and street, allows for more walkability.
Thank you. Yeah, I think actually, this is an improvement over having the street facing garage from, in appearance, a street view look. So, all right. If there's no other questions or comments, board, I'll take a motion.
Madam Chair, I would move to approve calendar number 24-010 based on the testimony that we heard today.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Could I have a second, please?
Second, Member Brown.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. All right, you want to call the vote, please?
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Calendar number 24-010 is granted. It'll be ratified on February 26th. We will send you a letter, but please feel free to contact our office on Wednesday of that week for further instruction.
Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Harbor View is one of my favorite streets, so.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, it
We're
is.
very
Love it.
lucky.
Very lucky to find.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Okay, we're on to calendar number 24-031. Do we have anyone online for this case?
Yes, this is Alex Pesta. I do.
Okay. Alex, we're gonna go ahead and read the case in, and then we'll do the for you.
I got excited. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We get ahead of ourselves all the time, but the room has cleared out, so I just wanted to make sure we had someone with us. All right, Ms. Holzer, go ahead.
No problem. Our last case is calendar number 24-031. This is at 9615 Buckeye Road. Woodhill Homes LLC owner proposes to erect a 4-story, 64-dwelling unit apartment building in an E3 residence office district and an urban core overlay district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. With that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I will go ahead and swear you in at this time. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand. Reply with I do, your name and your address.
I do. Alex Pesta, 12205 Larchmere Boulevard.
Thank you. Is there anyone else online who wishes to speak in this matter? I'm not seeing anyone. So back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. Could we have the history of the property, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned general retail in 1929. In 2007, it was changed to residence office district. And I'm not sure when the urban core overlay district was established. Then, Madam Chair, in our records administration office, we found that in 1908, a permit was issued to erect a dwelling. And 2001, a permit was issued, there was a violation condemnation notice placed on the property. 2013, a board of notice was placed. And then again, later in 2013, a commercial demolition permit was issued to the property. There are no variances on file and nothing of note in the more recent history.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I see a Fred Wilson raise his hand. I think he'd like to speak.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson, you have your hand raised?
Yes, I'm just letting you know that I'm from Calvary Apostolic Assembly. That's directly across the street from the property. We're at 9510 Buckeye Road.
Okay, we're gonna have to do the oath for you, sir. So Ms. Wilson will swear you in.
Absolutely. Do you swear or affirm? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand and reply with I do, your name and your address.
I do. My address is 9510 Buckeye Road, Cleveland, Ohio.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We'll go to legal standard then.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Pelham is requesting area variances from the maximum front setback and the percent frontage build-out requirements of the zoning code To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose of intent and zoning.
Great, thank you. Did we have statement from the council person?
We have a statement from the city planner. I do not have a statement from the council person.
Okay.
Would you like me to read the, Kim Scott's not online, is she?
Okay.
If you'd like me to go ahead and read it, or would you
We'll
like?
take testimony and then we'll loop back to it. I just wanted to know if Councilman Gray had anything pertinent. All right, Mr. Pesta, go ahead and tell us, I assume you're the spokesperson, so.
Yes,
wanna
thank you,
tell us
Matt.
what you're gonna do?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Board. I am very excited to present Woodhill Station East to this committee, to this group. It is part of a larger neighborhood plan and implementation that stems back. It goes back about 6 years is when this neighborhood plan was started. We can kind of flip through and kind of get you to the site plans. It is really born in rebuilding Woodhill homes. So kind of Woodhill proper is defined by that blue outline and shape in the middle. There are 487 homes. This ties into a federally funded HUD Choice Implementation Grant. Part of that mandate is to provide replacement homes and add new living opportunities within the overall study area is outlined in the yellow. So what I'm here today to talk about specifically is what we call Woodhill Station East, right across the street from the Rapid Station at the intersection of Shaker, Buckeye, and Woodhill. As you can see here, it's kind of page bottom left is where the third phase of Woodhill is. The original concept and idea was to construct the initial phases of replacement homes and housing in addition and prior to demolishing the on-site housing that is really kind of central to the housing plan tied back to that HUD plan to give folks an opportunity to move and stay within the overall neighborhood. Can we go to the next one, please? This highlights bottom left where Woodhill Station East kind of lies at that intersection. It is kind of considered and always has been considered as a campus plan with Woodhill Station West. That initiative is rounding out its final stages of construction. Our team is walking that building actually today to make sure that it is okay for residents to move in. And we anticipate the first wave of residents to move into that building in the next week or so. Can we go to the next? This is that building. This is Woodhill Station West. And I believe the next image shows it kind of as under construction. It has advanced since the submission, but you can see that it is real and it is happening. If we go to the next one, it shows kind of an overall aerial. This predates, obviously, Woodhill Station West's construction. This shows the former Buckeye CMSD school. And then the next series of slides shows the proposed site plan and where we are seeking the variances. One thing of note is the topographical change between Woodhill. If you're familiar with the site, it's really sloping downhill as you move page left west on Buckeye. So for the building to sit, we've made the decision that we really feel it's important that the building anchors the intersection of Woodhill and Buckeye. In order to make that happen with the topography, we need to set the building back a little bit so that the grading can work itself out and we can make the slopes down to the sidewalk. The variance that we're seeking specific along Woodhill with the setback that exceeds the allowable, the property line there, you can see it on that kind of inlay or that inset, the blue dashed line. The public sidewalk is actually on it kind of scoots over into the public side. And so we wanted to hold the building back in order to provide a little bit of space. Obviously, we don't want the doors of that ground floor space and use to swing out into the public right-of-way or into the sidewalk area. A little bit of landscaping that's there to provide a buffer. If we can go to the next. And then the frontage, the zoning code currently reads that we need 100% build out along both the secondary frontages. We interpret that as along Woodhill and Wamalink. You can see here on the top right of the site plan, there's an area that is labeled playground. The intended ground floor use of this new building entering and exiting off of Woodhill is an early childhood learning center. And so this is a playground area that is in direct support of that ground floor use. There will be a fence and there will be some kind of built along that frontage, but it is not a building frontage. So that's where we believe we need that additional variance, or we need that variance that's required. And then as the building, or as the site turns and comes down Wamalink, we are not building out along that frontage. We think that as it transitions into smaller scale residential, it made the most sense to push the building a little bit closer again to that Buckeye Woodhill Road intersection. I believe the next few slides show some initial renderings and kind of concepts for the space, if we can go to the next one. But it is a 4-story building. You can see this image captures really that grade or that slope across the site. On the page left here, you can see above that retaining wall, which we do see it as a canvas for public art. We're working with Land Studio and other project partners to make sure that it is something that is celebratory. But on top of that, the playground area, and that is Woodhill Road, 4 stories of building there, and then it retains 4 stories, but actually steps down as it turns the corner and moves down Buckeye. And then I believe the last image shows what the building will look like from the intersection of Buckeye Woodhill Shaker. On the right-hand side is that entrance, ground floor entrance into the early childhood learning facility, kind of daycare facility. Lobby entrance, main entrance, leasing offices will be on the corner. And then as the building steps down the hill, transitions into residential units, which is in part why we think that that front setback and the additional buffer space is warranted and required in order to make everything work. So that is an overview. I appreciate this board's time. Look forward to the conversation. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Mr. Wilson, would you like to make your comment?
Yes, I'm in favor of it. I have no problem with it. We're trying to partner and work with the construction that's going across the street. So I think it'll be great for the community.
Great. And you mentioned that you were from across the street. Can you tell us what organization or who you're with?
Yeah, I'm a board member for Calvary Apostolic Assembly. It's a church.
Great, okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. Okay,
You're
we'll
welcome.
take that. Whenever you're ready.
Sure, unless Mr. Bay would like to present instead.
Yeah, it's, hello, it's Xavier Bay, representing city planning. We actually had a letter in from Queen Step, the neighborhood planner for this area. Now I'll read it into the record. It's also on the screen.
Okay.
This development project represents a catalyst for change in the Buckeye Woodville neighborhood. Reuse of this site, as described, conveys strong signals, neighborhood stability, renewed commitment of investment, and desirable retail opportunities. Safer and more active community node, convenient transit access, and increased housing options for residents. The beauty of this project is the degree that residents and stakeholders have been engaged, which is value we should never discount. The community has voiced their desire, and the developer and designers have listened. This project has been approved by the local design review committee as well as planning commission. City planning supports variances and requests that this board grant.
Is that it? Okay. All right. Go ahead.
That's all that I have.
Oh,
Did you need?
oh, I thought you said there was something from Councilwoman Gray.
No,
that
I
you had.
didn't have anything. Just that letter from Kim Scott.
Oh, all right. Great, great, great. Okay. Mr. Pesta, is the RTA stop that is located on the street going to remain?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. And is there anything that's going to be added in terms of like shelter or seating or anything like that?
To the RTA stop?
Yeah, well, on your property, but adjacent to the stop, just to make it more user-friendly?
Understood. Not on our site. It's a rapid stop on the other side. So there's some grade change. And so we're working to make sure that the streetscape is improved to provide ease in crossing Buckeye. But there's no shelters proposed on this side of the street.
Okay, well, I knew that there was a rapid stop there, but I had also seen on Street View that there was a bus stop sign. And just a sign on the utility pole, so I wondered if there was anything that was gonna be added to make the bus stop more user-friendly.
We have been in conversations with RTA to make sure the proposed on-street parking on Wood Hill is acceptable, and we've actually moved around, and the bus stop has moved. RTA is in agreement to move the bus stop a little bit further north so that there is full coordination there. I would imagine, I hope that ridership increases and having quality childhood, early childhood education, daycare accessible would mean that a future station and stop could be warranted, and we have plenty of sidewalk space to accommodate that in the future should it be.
Yeah, I think having the childcare on site is excellent, particularly with the relationship to the public transit, so that's great. Board, any other questions or comments?
I do have a question. So with respect to the variance that you need, the second variance for the frontages, that's where the playground is going. So am I correct that that's just a playground and landscaping, but the playground is open and available for everyone? So anyone in the area can use it. It's not private to this building. Is that correct?
I do not know the answer to that. I know that the playground will be surrounded by an ornamental fence. I would imagine during hours of operation for the daycare, it's going to be restricted to the daycare operators. But that is something we could find out and report back to the board.
Okay, so there is how tall is that fence?
4 feet.
Okay, thank you. And then I'm just curious, this is not a variance question necessarily, but where are the residents going to live while this is being constructed?
So there are replacement housing that's available. That is something that Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority and the development partner, the community builders, have been working diligently with as far as replacement housing. So some in other CMHA properties close by. Others have taken project-based vouchers so that they've moved out of the neighborhood by choice.
Okay, thanks.
Can I add to that really quickly? I'm sorry. Every single Wood Hill resident that was on site has the right to return to this building as part of this. So even if they've moved off site and away, they have they're first in line to come back if they so choose.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And in terms of rents in the building, is that it's subsidized housing, correct?
It's a mix. So part of the choice program is that every single building becomes mixed income. So there's 3 really kind of flavors or categories of housing in each one of the buildings, and then obviously in each one of the sites. One is subsidized housing. So that's what I think most people would kind of equate to public housing. So there's subsidized housing, there's assistance, so it's not fully subsidized, and then there's market rate apartment units that are in every one of these buildings. I can tell you, as the designers, every one of those units looks the exact same. They are indistinguishable. So the market rate unit looks exactly like the affordable unit, that looks exactly like the subsidized unit. And so that is very much part of the unit mix in each one of the buildings.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Ms. Rocca, do you want to craft the motion on this?
Sure. All right. Madam Chair, based on the testimony that we've heard today, I move that we approve calendar number 031. And yeah, I move that we approve.
Great.
Member Brown, I second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Would you like to call the vote, please?
Sure. Ms. Holzer,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Ms. Bays.
Yes.
Calendar number 24-031 is granted. It'll be ratified on February 26th. We'll send you a letter, but please feel free to contact our office on that following Wednesday for further instruction.
Madam Chair, thank you. Board, thank you very much for your time. Very much appreciated.
You're welcome. Thanks for the presentation.
Take care.
You as well. All right, that concludes our cases. We'll go on to old business. All right, we have 3, 4, 5, and 7 without objection.
Without objection.
Without objection.
All right, excellent. Okay, Liz, do you want to go over the notes that are on here?
Sure. There are 3 affirmations for you this morning. BZA 23-118 regarding 820 College Avenue. Tom Lenahan was granted variances to erect an addition to an existing bar restaurant on August 23rd, 2023. The appellant has only just finished the architectural drawings and will need time for Building and Housing Department to review them before the permit is issued. So he needs an additional 6 months.
Okay, without objection, board?
Without objection.
And then BZA numbers 21-184 and 21-185 regarding 2315 West Fifth Street, the front and rear proposed buildings. Andrew Gottlieb was granted variances to erect 2 residential units on February 14th, 2021. The appellant has been dealing with legal issues from the neighbor and regarding an easement, so the project is taking a little longer. He stated that he is ready now to submit the architectural drawings, and again, we'll need that additional 6 months to complete the permit process.
Okay, which one was this?
I apologize, Madam Chair, they all kind of
Yeah.
blur. They had a neighbor.
This isn't the one with the tree, is it?
No, there
The
was.
one with the door.
There was an easement, an access easement agreement.
Right.
And the neighbor had expected to have more access or get access to the rear of the property as opposed to just the front portion. So I believe that he has been negotiating and with them, and
Okay,
it was granted without any conditions. There were no
conditions at
up
the
for
time.
that easement. That's
Okay.
correct. It was not made part of your motion.
Okay, great. All right, without objection, board?
Without objection.
Without objection.
Thank you, virtual ladies. All right. That concludes our business for today. Does anyone have anything else? All right. We have holiday next week,
Yes, we do.
correct?
Nice break. We will not have quorum.
Okay, we will not have quorum next week. All right. That's that. Okay, thank you, everyone. Did anyone watch the game last night?
We all watched Taylor Swift's Boyfriend.
We all watched Taylor Swift's Boyfriend. Yes.
Watched halftime. I watched. I'm sure.
What did we think about halftime? I'm sorry, we're
Halftime
adjourned.
was great. We're adjourned, and now we're on the public record on YouTube talking about.
Yes, right, we are adjourned.